Mongolian beef. Big chunks of stir-fried flank steak, onions, chiles, in a tasty soy oyster and wine sauce. Crazy easy to make and so dang good. We are going to start off by marinating up that beef though. Sound good? Let's cook. I've got a 1 pound cut of flank steak that I'm going to use here. However, you can substitute out. You can use skirt steak, top sirloin, filet mignon, or even a ribeye. Now, the first thing we want to do is slice this up. I like bite-sized pieces, so what I like to do with this flank steak is to cut it in thirds first. This helps get those pieces nice and small, and again, bite-sized. Once they are cut down, we're going to take each little chunk and thinly slice it on a bias. It's going to make sure it is very thin. It will cook quickly, and it will be very easy to chew. It will not be tough at all. Once it is sliced, we're going to take all of those pieces and simply add them to a medium-sized bowl. And now is when the marinade comes in. We are going to start off by adding 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Next, we're going to hit it with 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I've got 2 large eggs that we're going to add in there. Going to add some fat, flavor, and help bring everything together. Next, I've got 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine. You can absolutely substitute out for sherry. Then we want to add in some cornstarch. And then we want to season it up just a little bit with salt and pepper. I'm going to do about a half teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. Now, using your hands or a spatula or a spoon, totally up to you, completely combine all of these ingredients until mixed in. This is a perfect little marinade. It's going to add a little bit of breading too to the outside. You'll see that when we fry it up. Now what we're going to do is add it to the refrigerator. We want to let it marinate for maybe just 25 to 30 minutes, but this is great timing because now we can prep up everything else, beginning with a yellow onion. This is a pretty small yellow onion here, so if you're using a medium or large, cut it in half. Next, after you slice the ends off, remove the outside peel. We're going to cut this a little different. We want to cut it into 1-inch chunks. So start with the first half, slice it in half widthwise, and then come back and cut every inch all the way until it's finished, just like this. Set them to the side, and in a separate bowl, well, it's garlic. You already know they're going straight through a garlic press. And I've got a peeled 1-inch piece of fresh ginger that I'm going to run right on a microplane. Be sure at the end to give your microplane a little knock because a lot of that ginger gets stuck underneath there. And now for the green onions. I'm going to be using 3 of them. I like to slice them on a bias. To do that, turn your knife 45 degrees and simply slice along. I like this because it looks really nice, and plus we already have onions, so we don't need to cut these into 1 or 2-inch chunks. We don't want this to be too offensive in the onion flavor category. See how they get nice and long? These look fantastic. Set them to the side, and now for the dried chilies. I'm going to be using in between 8 and 10, and any dried red chili will do. These are pretty mild though, because you know me, spice is not my thing, but I do like a tiny little gentle kick. To remove even more of the spice, tear off the end and get all of those seeds out of there and as much as the pith as possible. You know me, I don't like the heat, but I will definitely stay in the kitchen. And to all of you out there who love spice and want a little bit more, just don't take any of those seeds out of those dried chilies. And in fact, if you want even more, you can slice up like 2 or 3 Fresno peppers, jalapeno peppers, red finger peppers. It is up to you. For me, you know I can't handle the heat. It's too hot for me. Okay, now let's do the sauce. In a medium size bowl, I have 4 tablespoons of good soy sauce. We're next going to add in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. You could substitute out for honey or regular sugar. Next, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. If you don't have that, use regular white distilled vinegar. Now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Definitely scrape all of this goodness out of there. Lots of flavor here. Now to break this up a bit, we're going to add in a half cup of cold water, 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine, again, substitute out for dried sherry. And then last but not least, I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. This is going to help thicken up the sauce once we add it to our pan. Now, using a whisk, completely mix this together until combined and the cornstarch is broken up and mixed throughout. Set it to the side. Okay, really quickly, Mongolian beef is classically served up on some rice. I'm gonna show you how to do it how I do it to get the fluffiest, most perfect rice every single time. And yes, we can go ahead and rinse it. Here we go. I've got 2 cups of jasmine rice. We're gonna add it to a little strainer here. Now take it right over to your sink, because what we want to do is rinse it off, and this gets rid of any of the starchiness. Now I'm still not completely convinced that this does that much. I've cooked this a million times, but I know you folks want to see me rinse it. So a quick rinse, maybe 10 to 15 seconds under cold water. Now what we're doing is going over to a medium-sized pot, add the rice in there, followed up with adding in 15% less water than whatever the package instructions require. So I'm doing 3.5 cups instead of 4 cups. This is absolutely one of my tips so that your rice is not oversaturated and mushy. We're going to immediately turn the heat to high. What we want to do is bring this to a little bit of a boil. This is plenty to boil. Now add the lid on top, turn the heat down to low. Also, when it comes to time, I do 20% less. So instead of 15 minutes, we're going to do 10 or 11 minutes. Come back, let's take the top off. Perfectly cooked. Honestly, it's amazing. Now use a fork. What we want to do is fluff up this rice, sort of break everything up. And then we're just going to set it to the side. Don't worry, it will stay warm because the Mongolian beef literally cooks in just a few minutes. Now, grab your wok, add it right to your cooktop. And what we're going to do is immediately add in 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to be using vegetable oil here. You could use peanut or any other neutral flavored oil. Crank that heat to high. We want the oil to be rolling smoke off of there just like this. Now go grab your beef out of the refrigerator, and you're going to need to add it in batches. You can't just dump it in there, else oil's going to go flying. What I like to do is add it all around the pan. Cover as much surface area as possible to get that nice little sear on there. It's obviously going to be a little bit hard to do, so using a spoon or spatula, move it up the sides of the pan. This will help get that sear on there, and so you're not boiling or steaming your beef. Move it around so that it covers that pan up the sides. After maybe only 30 to 45 seconds, we're going to start stir frying this. You do this by grabbing the handle with one hand, sticking the spoon in the center of the pan, and then move that back and forth, rocking it, and this will make sure that nothing is sticking and that it is stir frying. Definitely check out my beef stir fry video too if you need more help. Now take that beef out of the pan. We're just going to set it to the side on a plate. Add that wok right back on high heat. Again, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of oil, and we need to watch it closely because these things are going to cook quickly. Let's add in our garlic, followed up with our fresh grated ginger. And then right now we're going to add in our onions, and we want to stir fry this. This is on high heat, so these are going to brown really quickly, and honestly, under a minute. Once it is to this consistency, looks absolutely excellent. Smells awesome too, by the way. We're going to add in our chilies, followed up by adding in our sauce at this point. Now, it is going to thicken up very quickly because this pan is very hot. You will notice that it will almost become like a syrup. This is perfect consistency right here. Now let's go back. Let's grab our beef. Let's also add it in there, followed up with about 3/4 of the onions that we sliced up. We're going to save the rest for garnish, and then toss this around or fold it in using that spoon or spatula until it is completely coated. And oh my gosh, does this smell so dang good. Simple, fundamental, basic techniques, putting them into practice over and over again, no matter what it is you're cooking. Making sure your wok is really hot. The oil should be smoking. Pushing the beef up the sides to get that perfect sear so you're not boiling up your beef. Putting these things into practice over and over again, I'm telling you right now, it is going to elevate your everyday cooking and the food that you're going to make from scratch. Oh my God, it's amazing. Okay, really quickly, let's plate it up. Here we go. Let's add our perfectly cooked jasmine rice right to a large bowl. Add the Mongolian beef all over the top. And then, of course, we garnish on with some fresh sliced green onions. And let's get in this.